I did pray actually. So all right, we've prayed. We're officially going now. Calvin, tell us who you are and what you'd like to share with us.
Yes. Good afternoon to our directors and staff. My name is Calvin Brooks, and I'm the State Pathfinder Director. I want to bring you greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, and to all of our directors and staff, both Pathfinder and Adventure. This is the first meeting for our 23-24 Pathfinder year. And it is my prayer that as we partner together in ministry, God will bless our effort, and the young people who we are leading, we may lead them to see Jesus Christ. And I just want to say, we are all in it together. Directors and staff, we are also with you, and do not hesitate to ask us for whatever help you need. That's why we have a team of OAV here ready to serve. Again, I want to say welcome, thrice welcome, and God bless. We are looking forward for, I can say, the best yet of Pathfinder Adventure Ministry since coming out of COVID. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. Appreciate that greeting. I know Brad was going to be on tonight. I didn't see Brad. Has someone seen Brad? Brad, Gary, are you on tonight?
I'm here.
Oh, great. Brad, talk to us. Tell us who you are and what you represent and how you can help the directors that are here tonight.
Hello, my name is Brad Gary. I am one half of the Florida State Adventure Administrator. And Lisa can't be on tonight because she's at work. So I'm here. Lisa and I are here to help any of the directors that need help with adventures. Any questions that you need answered, we're always here for you. We're just either a phone call away or a text away or a email away. We welcome you to the 23-24 adventure year, and I pray that God's blessing will be on you and that you will have an awesome year teaching the kids about how to be closer to Jesus.
Amen. I love it. Man, it doesn't get much better than that, guys. You just heard from Calvin from Pathfinders, from Brad representing Brad and Lisa Gary from Adventures. And those are our state administrators. Those are the people that help at the state level oversee everything. And we're so blessed to have them here. So thanks for being on. And also, I want to introduce to you some of our area people. Some of our area people are the ones who help us at the area level. They check in with us and they make sure that all the areas are moving. Here in Florida, we have 4 areas: North, West, South, and Central. And those 4 areas have leaders for Adventures and leaders for Pathfinders over them. Let's go to some of our area admins. I see Yolanda made it on. Yolanda's coming from the Pathfinder side. Yolanda, where are you serving? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you on tonight. I am Yolanda Acevedo, and I serve in the West. I am the West Area Administrator, and I would love to be able to collaborate with you this coming 23-24 Pathfinder year as we go ahead and show our kids how much God loves them and how to love others. And also, it's great to be able to collaborate with you in etching an image of Jesus in the hearts of young people. So I look forward to this coming year. If I can serve you in any way, and I'm sure I am able to, please give me a call, write me, text me. I don't sleep. I don't sleep. So you can reach out to me anytime you want, and I will go ahead and be glad to serve you.
Thank you for that. And our area administrators play a big role because they help coordinate things at the area level. They help put together things like your Reveillees for Pathfinders, your area fun days for Adventures. Those are key people in the volunteer team that we have here. I am going to say this. Some people said that they can't get in and that things are full. We did hit our 100 capacity. And I'd even forgotten that there was a capacity of 100, so I apologize for that. But we will have this again in August, another new club year orientation. This is also being recorded. So if some of your team didn't make it in, we'll get them at the next one, and they also can watch this on Facebook, and we'll send the link out in our YouTube channel through our newsletter as well. So from Yolanda, let's shift over. Do we have any other? I think I saw Sherry earlier. Sherry, are you still on? Sherry Boutadier.
I'm still here.
There she is. Sherry, talk to us. Tell us who you are and what you're doing and how you're working with Club Ministries in Florida.
Okay. I am the one and only Sherry Boutadier. It's a pleasure seeing so many people on tonight. I can see the excitement is growing for Pathfinders and Adventures. I am currently the area administrator, adventure for the North area, and also acting administrator for Pathfinders for the North area. So I am, as was said before, yeah, I'm like Yolanda. I don't sleep either. So my phone is always on. You can reach me at any time. If I don't answer you, I will call you back or I'll text you. We are here to help in whatever way that we can to grow our ministry.
Thank you for that.
So that's our pleasure in working with all of you.
Thank you. So Sherry Boutadier is doing double duty here in the North. She is working with Pathfinders and Adventures, and that's the kind of heart that we really appreciate about so many of our volunteers, is that Sherry is willing to do what's necessary. And currently we don't have a Pathfinder area person in the North. And so she said, I'll help out. And we caught her in a Pathfinder uniform on Sabbath, just so you know. We actually saw her in a Pathfinder uniform. It was a great sighting. She looks good in her adventure uniform too. Don't get me wrong. All right, so thank you, Sherry. Area admins, who else do we have on here tonight? Sorry, help me out. If you're an area admin on here, speak up.
Lurlet.
There she is, Lurlet. How could I miss Lurlet? Lurlet is another one of our area admins. Lurlet, go ahead and tell us where you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lurlet. I'm from the central area, the best area.
Easy.
I want to say thank you guys for coming on. I am Central Area Admin for Pathfinders, and I am here to answer all your questions, to help you with whatever you need. I can be reached by email, WhatsApp, text messages, however you need me, I am here for you.
Thank you. And we're actually going to show you where to get their contact info. I know they keep saying you can contact me, email me, all that stuff. We're going to actually show you where you can do that tonight. So if you're wondering about that, don't worry too much. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. So thank you, Central Pathfinders.
Pastor Pedro, can I say a word before?
Please do.
Okay, for our area admin who is on, remember we had a meeting set for tonight. I'm gonna ask if possible we could do that meeting tomorrow night, because when we set this meeting for our leadership convention, we were not up to date yet about this meeting. We know about it, but somehow it slipped through. So area admin and the directors who are on this committee, can we meet tomorrow night at 8 o'clock? Please, please, please. Thanks for your cooperation.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you so much. I was secretly jealous that everyone would get to stay on this particular call. And I wasn't going to be here. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
That's cool. And thank you for that, Calvin. I appreciate you guys jumping on for sure and postponing the other thing. And if you did hear what he said, the leadership convention is coming soon, and that's August 4 to 6. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I want to jump to zone and see if we have any zone leaders on. I don't think I saw them. I do see two of our cluster coordinators on. So I did mention Evelyn already, but Evelyn, want to give you a chance to say hi. If you would jump on for a moment, and then I see Eric. Eric, you'll be next after Evelyn.
Hi, everyone. You all know that you can reach me anytime by phone, by email, text, WhatsApp, anything. I'm always here for you, whatever you need at any time also. I'm always home, so you can call me.
That's
If
awesome.
you need training, I'm available also to train you.
Very nice. I don't see a little adventure stuffed animal with you. Is it close to you? Evelyn's usually close to her stuffed animal. Adventures
Yeah,
have their
hold on.
own little stuffed animals. Oh, she's going to put me to the test. She's like, I got this. I got this. Yeah, usually those are close to her. She travels with them, even makes her husband hold them for pictures. It's quite a thing that she does with him. And he does it. It's amazing. So she's disappeared to go get it. Eric, oh, there she, oh, they're back. All right, look at that. Very nice. Do you want to share their names?
This is Foxy and Fozzie.
I love it. Thank you, Evelyn. We're so glad you're a part of the team. Thanks for helping us in the West. Let's jump over to Eric Wyand. Eric, talk to us a little bit about where you are and what your role is.
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm a cluster coordinator in the central area, cluster 2. I work directly with the clubs and the directors, and I'm their first line of communication for whatever they need. And then, if I don't know the answer, I move it up the food chain and help you guys out anytime you need. You can, like Ellen said, I can be reached anytime, day or night, and Pedro will tell you how to get my information here soon.
That's awesome. Thank you, Eric, for serving here in Central and working with the churches that you do. I think the big idea that we wanted you to see tonight to start off was that there's a team of people here ready to help you. And if you didn't get that, I don't know how else we can make that clear to you. The team exists to say we're here for you. Being a club director has its challenges. Being someone who is working in the local church and putting a club together, working with staff, working as the director, trying to get volunteers, getting ready for investitures, getting ready for inductions, getting ready for Pathfinder Adventure Sabbath, getting ready for a drill inspection if you're Pathfinders, right? Or getting ready for ABG if you're Adventures. That's a great thing that just started. So all those kinds of things. Our team is here ready to help you. We want to make it as smooth as possible for you to have a great year. So we wanted to meet some people and have some introductions. I want to shift for a moment because there's another person that's vital to the team, right? There's another person that's vital to the team of a local club being successful. And it starts with a P. Anybody want to guess who I'm thinking of? Who's a person that is vital to a club being successful? And I guess the role starts with a P, right? Their name may or may not start with a P, but their role definitely starts with a P. Anybody want to take a guess?
Your pastor.
Whoa, who said that? I didn't see who said it because I was trying to get a screen share going. You're right, the pastor. And this is a document that I want to share with you because this is something that we worked on years ago. And I think this is probably one of the best treasures that has been created here in the last decade. And I don't say that lightly because I know this team has done a lot of great stuff. But I want you to see this because this is, I think, a key thing in terms of being successful in a club. Here's what one of our dreams would be, is that as a Pathfinder director, as an adventure director, you would say, let me work with my pastor. Let me get their support. Let me have them be present to encourage. And Calvin led the way on this. Calvin helped us put this together. He got with a team of people, sat together. And here's a little quote at the beginning. And I think this is a pretty good fact, right? People like to feel needed and to be in the know. They like respect, acknowledgement, and being appreciated. And pastors are no different, right? So let's work closely with our pastors for the benefit of our kids. So we said, what could we come up with as a list to help a club be thinking actively and proactively about getting their pastor or pastors involved? So we just made this list, and I can send this to you. We'll send it as an attachment later on. But this is first one. What if you've never had a conversation with your pastor about club ministries, these are some great tips and some great ideas to help you move in that direction. Like just start asking the pastor, how could the kids be involved? How could they support the church's activities? Number two, what are some of the club activities or schedules or calendars that you could share with your pastor? And even this one, number three, like, could you set up a one-on-one meeting? Many of you probably have already done this. If you've done this before, you might even just put in the chat, I've done this. And that would be great. We'll celebrate you, right? I think that's a best practice for a director to say to your pastor, when can I meet with you? When can we have a one-on-one? And this is where you get to tell your pastor about the kids, right? This is where you get to tell the pastor about your adventures, your Pathfinders. You even get to tell them about your staff and go one by one. Like, can you imagine if you took a half hour, 45 minutes, depending on how big your club is, it might take longer, but you said, man, I'd like to just talk to you about little Billy or little Juan or little Jack, like whoever it is. Here's their interests. Here's how they work in the club. This is what they do as talents. And here's my staff. And this one's really good at that. And this one's really good at that. And you just walk through your whole roster with your pastor so they can know how to pray for them. They can know how to be involved in their family. They can know how to get in touch with their parents. They can say, hey, maybe if we needed a special music or we needed this, but the pastor knows because you've had that one-on-one meeting with him. And then number four, many of you do this already. You invite the pastor to come to the club meeting, right? To share a devotional, to get involved and help out with the kids. Number five, even though they're pastoring the church, give them a special invitation to your programs. Can they come to everything in your calendar? They can't. They got the whole church to run, right? But if you look through with your staff and say, these are the 3 things or the 2 things or the 5 things, whatever you come up with, say, hey, we'd love to have you at this event to do this thing. And the sooner you tell your pastor, the better, right? Because the sooner the pastor knows, the better they can plan. Some pastors have Pathfinder uniforms. I've seen them. They've got even Master Guide uniforms. And to see them uniformed coming to your events, I think that's pretty cool. Invite the conference to invite the pastor to a conference event. We love seeing pastors at Red Zone. We love seeing pastors coming to super fun days and fun days. Invite your pastor to come. Now here's one. This takes a little bit of a brave soul for number 8, because this is you asking the pastor to say, what do you think about the club? Like, would there be anything you'd like to see done differently? Are there any improvements you'd like us to make? Do you have any expectations for us as a club? Now, again, I don't know if you're having these conversations, but as we worked through the list, we said, man, this would be another way to have a super healthy, super strong club if this was happening. Number 9, invite the pastor to meet and talk with new parents, especially non-Adventist ones, right? The pastor connecting to the parents, invite them, keep them updated. Pastor, we got 3 new kids in the club. They're not Adventist. Their parents aren't Adventist. They're coming. They're going to come to this special thing we're doing. Do you have time on this day at this time to come meet them? I'll introduce you. Look for me. I'll help you meet them. Pastors connected to clubs in more and better ways. That's what we're talking about. Number 10, ask the pastor what the club can do to help with the upkeep of the church. Is there anything we can do to pick up trash out of the pews after every Sabbath? Is there anything we can do to just help with the upkeep to make sure things are going? Number 11, is there a special project that the pastor would want you to work on, to organize the adventures or the Pathfinders to take on some task at the church? Number 12, ask him or her, your pastor, to allow 2 Pathfinders or adventurers in uniform to escort the platform party, to just lead them to go in. One of the things that I love watching is one church here in Central Florida, once a month, their Pathfinders and adventurers take turns and they're greeting people at the door in their uniforms, right? They've got their Pathfinder adventure uniform and they're greeting people and they're saying, hey, welcome to our church. And they're giving visibility and they're also giving an opportunity for those young people to be a part of the church, right? I think that's great. 13, ask the pastor if you can have Pathfinders or adventurers in uniform collecting offering. Another great way to be visible, and have the adults with them, coach them, train them, teach them what to do, and walk through it with them. Number 14, ask if the Pathfinders or adventurers could be greeters. We just talked about that one a little bit. And then number 15, share with the pastor what you're expecting from him or her and the church. Let your pastor know, Pastor, here's what I need from you. Here's what I'm asking for. Could you deliver this or could you provide that? Those are the kinds of things. And this isn't just budget, right? This isn't you just saying, hey, we want money. This is you saying, We need this kind of support. We need this kind of supplies. We need these kinds of things. One of the big things we think is the key to making 23-24 the most successful club year you've ever had is Pathfinder and adventure directors and staff connecting to our pastors and spending time with them. We think that's a big deal. We think that's a huge part of making the club work. Anybody in all of that, I see nobody's really said stuff in the chat, at least not that I can see. Anything new? Did anybody learn something new from that? Hopefully you did. Hopefully something was there that you said, oh, I'm going to try that, or oh, I'm going to try that. Because we think it's a big deal to have pastors connected to clubs so that pastors and clubs are all working together and on the same page. Hey, Adventure Bible Game, I see some comments there. Okay, good. Pretty good. Thank you. Good, good. Okay. Yeah, good. Oh, that's what you're saying. Somebody said, what's ABG? And it's Adventure Bible Game. Very good. All right. So that was one big thing. We wanted you to hear from our heart saying, we really want you to connect with pastors. We really want clubs to be connected to pastors so that the pastor sees the club as a vital part of the church and the club sees the pastor as a vital part of the church. Maritza is saying our pastor's always active with us, and that relationship is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. That's great. All right, so that was the first thing. The second thing is the director and the staff meeting together. The director and the staff meeting together. This one is so important because if the director and the staff are connecting, then you can be united, right? You can stand together. You can all be, as the phrase goes, on the same page, or you can all be on the same side of the rope, pulling from the same side. Spending time together is, oh, that's great. They had their pastor for World Adventure Day interacting with puppets during the sermon. I love it. That sounds fun. You need to put the link to the YouTube or the Facebook somewhere on the chat here so we can see that. That sounds fun. So we want to make sure that you guys are connecting. And here's one of the things that we've seen clubs do, and this is another best practice. Have staff meetings. Have regular staff meetings. Talk about everything at staff meetings. Make sure that in the staff meeting, you're planning, you're organizing, you're giving details, and you're giving assignments. A good director doesn't do it all. A good director doesn't just have a meeting and leave the meeting with 500 things to do and the staff has nothing to do. That should be a shared load, right? That should be something that you're working on together, the director and the staff working together. One of the things that happen as you work together with the staff is you start to build a sense of who's good at what, and you can assign people to do the things that they're good at. You can have them take on the things that aren't as much of an effort for you. There are some things that you'll probably never see me do. You'll probably never see me sing a special music by myself. You're probably just never going to see that. I don't hardly ever sing by myself, and you're probably never going to see me do some other things. But guess what? I know a lot of people that can sing, and it's amazing, right? It moves me. So find out what your staff is good at and then turn them loose to do it. Turn them loose to do it. The other day, there was a mess in the office back in one of the closets. And someone suggested that one of our team members go back there to clean it up. And this team member was like, yeah, I've been wanting to do that for a while. And guess what? When we turned Leah loose to go back there and clean that up, it got more organized and cleaner than I've ever seen in my life. It's better than I can clean it and organize it. And I was like, it's time to do that. That's one of the things that I would encourage you to do, working with your staff, working together with the director to say who's doing what, who can take on these things, who can take on those things, put people in charge, put people responsible, and work together as a staff. Those are huge things. And I think they're very important to make a club work. So you've got your pastor connection working. You've got your director staff team working. And that's how you're making things move. As you work with your director staff, I think one of the, again, best practices that I've seen is a director who spends time recruiting the counselors, right? Recruiting the counselors who are going to work directly with the kids and stays in touch with them regularly. Has updates, has meetings just with the counselors to see how the kids are doing in their level work. How are they making progress? What are the things that they're getting stuck on? How can they help move them forward? That's all part of that director-staff relationship as you work together with your team. So those are big pieces of relationship puzzles that we think make things work better in a local club. All right. Are you ready for a big list? You've been waiting for a big list, I'm pretty sure, haven't you? You said, I just need another list in my life. Well, I'm going to open up a link here and share with you what we would like to help you to see. So give me just one moment here and I'll pull up a link. Many of you probably have seen our website, and we are working all the time on improving our website and adding things. We're a little behind on this right now, but we are working on updating some things. This is our website, and if you look at the address, floridaconference.com/PAD, Leah, if you could just copy and paste that in the chat, that's a great place for you to go. If you are new to club ministry or if you need a lot of extra help, all the stuff that I'm going to share with you is coming from that website. When you get here, you can simply go to the Pathfinder or Adventure side, and all you do is click. Now, here's what I really want you to see. I want you to see all the stuff in here that's available to you, and we could have gone to Adventure side. It exists on both sides, but I just want to share this on the Pathfinder side. Here's the YMMS Forms resources. Click here, and this is the tab that I want you to get to. Once we get in here a little bit further, again, this is something that you can use, go to, all the stuff that you're gonna need is in here. One of the best tools is to come in here to the quick start guide. And this is one I wanna share with you. If you're new to club ministry, or if you're saying, man, I've never really had someone train me on how to start a club, how to start a Pathfinder Adventure Club, when I click on different pieces, is it staying with you on the screen? Are you able to see what I'm seeing? Does your screen say a quick start guide?
Yes.
Okay, all right, just wanna make sure.
Yes.
So here, this is a resource
Yes.
from Advent. Thank you. This is a resource from Advent Source, and it's the quick start guide, and it's in English and in Spanish, and you can click on these and go through it. And then down here, some of you may say, I said yes to being a Pathfinder director. I said yes to being an adventure director, but I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, right? You don't have to put in the chat, that's me. But I know that happens, right? Someone just has a heart that says, yeah, I'll try it. I'll figure it out. I'll make sense of it. But here's actually a job description of what it means to be a Pathfinder director. Again, the same thing exists on the other side in the adventure side. But we thought that it'd be a pretty big deal to help you see that this job description exists. So if you're wondering what are the key things I need to do as a director, well, it actually lines it out for you. The first big thing that they say is you got to do programming, right? That's a big part of a director's job. And then planning, and then recruiting and supervising and teaching and listening to your parents and children and communication. Like all of these things here are meant to help to say, how can we make this work? How can we do the best that we possibly can? So that exists there also in Spanish, and that's, I think, a big deal. So we wanted to make sure that you saw that. And that's the wrong tab, sorry. All right, so that's that piece. I want to share with you another piece, but the bar locked up my page. So give me 1 second here. Okay, now we'll come back. All right. Whoops. Sorry for that. It's hiding on me. I will find it. All right. I found it. So that's the quick start guide. That's that page. But I also want you to see over here this part, and this is the quick general resources. When you click here, this is probably the one page that if you haven't done anything else, I would invite you to come check it out. And Leah, if you could post that link in the page, here is where you're going to find most of the stuff that's going to help set you up for a good club year. Anybody ever heard of ASV, Sterling background checks? This is the link under the quick guide, right? Under the quick start in Pathfinders, same quick start in Adventures, but this is the link where you get all your Adventist screening verification. This tells you how to create an account. It tells you how to make an account. It tells you how to log into your account. Every adult 18 and older serving with Pathfinders and Adventures needs to have an ASV. So that's that big piece. This is the newsletter. The best way for you as a director or staff to stay up to date, it only comes out twice every month, 2 times, usually on Wednesday, 1st and 3rd. It comes out and has all the details, all the links to register, all the information about what's coming up. Personally, I would suggest that you share that newsletter sign up with your parents. Go to that page, send it to the parents, tell them this is how you can find out what's going on. Calendar. Part of your planning as a Pathfinder adventure leader is planning your calendar. And to have the conference calendar and know what's there, know what needs to be done, know what you need to plan around, that's a big piece. Another one is this, YMMS. Most of you are familiar with YMMS. If you're brand new to Florida Pathfinder Adventure Ministry, you might say, what is it? It stands for Youth Ministries Management System. It is the website where everybody is registered for all Florida conference events. This is where you'll put all your ASV information, all your Sterling information will go in there. This is where you'll build a roster for everybody in your club. Here's a little tip. The sooner you do this, the easier your life will be. If you take August and September to build your roster in YMMS, put every adult, every parent, every kid, everybody who's going to be a part of the club for the next year, if they're all in there and they all get their Sterling background check information in, then all you have to do as events come up is click on names and then make payment. It will save you time. It will save you effort. It will save you a lot of challenges. The more that you get built in there, the sooner in the year. So that's a big one, the Youth Ministries Management System. To help you know how to use that, this exists. This is the YMMS tutorials. This has both printed sheets like you see in the little icon, and it has video tutorials where they actually click through the web page and show you. It exists in English and in Spanish. The tutorials are there to help you know how to use the system. You also have people like Evelyn as a coordinator. You have the other people we showed tonight. You have Yolanda as one of our area people. You have Eric as one of our coordinators. You have all these people who can help you. The office can also help you. But if you're awake at 3 in the morning and you don't know what else to do, you could come on to the website and you could look at YMMS tutorials. Wouldn't that be fun? You could check out, how do I register people? How do I do this? How do I do that? Today even, I went to this very page to help one of our leaders to know how to switch someone. They have a new director. How do I switch a new director? How do I say the old director that we had, they're no longer going to be the director, but we got a new person who was a staff member before, but now they're going to be a director. How do I make them the director and give them the role of director? There's actually a tutorial for that, a little worksheet that helps you know how to do that. That's something you can do on your own and you can make happen. Now, some of you heard earlier that there are people who are involved. The OAVs. This is the list of all the Pathfinder leaders. Here's the list of all the adventure leaders. And you can see here in color on the map how we're split up: north, west, central, south. In the middle here, it says churches by cluster. Every church is assigned to one of these little groups, and you can click through all this on your own and explore and experience what that means. So you know who are the other churches in your cluster, and you guys can work together. You'll also know who your cluster coordinator is after you find your church in this grid. So these grids exist to help you know kind of who's there, where they are, how to help, where are the tips. So these pages alone, this one page, this one web page has so much information to try to help you as a director. Now, this is home to the web page for Pathfinders in Florida. This is home for the adventures to the web page for Florida as well. You'll notice something here. Does this logo look different to some of you? It should, because for the last 7 years or so, NAD has had a NAD adventure logo. In February of this year, NAD, North American Division, voted to go with the General Conference GC logo, which is this one. And starting in February of this year, that officially was made a move. And so moving forward, we'll give clubs for adventures 5 years to make the transition. But for now, this is the logo we're going to. And this is the logo to help North America be in line with all of the rest of the division. So Please keep that in mind. That logo is changing, but these take you to the websites for Florida Conference. Notice here, this is a store. If you're new, you might say, we have a store? Yes, Florida Conference has its own store to provide investiture materials to clubs, and you can order all your stuff online. You can have it all sent to you, shipped to you, whatever address you have. So that store is a big deal as well, because at some point you're going to want patches, and you're going to want scarves, and you're going to want your badges, your honors, your awards, your chips, and your stars. As you move down the page, for those of you who like all of the heavy reading, this is the Pathfinder manual, and this is the Adventure manual. This is all the details about how a club works. These manuals currently are for last year. Not a lot of content will change, but some content will change, and those manuals will be updated, and then we'll update these links. That will help you to know what you can do to have all of your stuff working. You'll also notice here Club of the Year, and we're working on that with some revisions. So that says coming soon, and we'll make sure that we get that going for you. But that's Club of the Year stuff. This is lastly some virtual resources. Back when we had to do everything digitally online and do clubs virtually, we created a library of resources, and you can get those through those two links. So that's this page. If you go to this page, and Leah, I don't know if you were able to find the link and put that in the chat. I hope so. If not, we'll get that for you. But I just wanted to share that with you and help you to see that this is the content that exists for you, and the stuff that we're trying to share with you and help you to know where you can go and get the resources you need. All right. So in terms of tonight, that was the big thing that we wanted to do, was introduce you to some people, let you know we've got a team of people to help you. Share with you some stuff online so you know, hey, there's a lot of resources already existing now that I could start looking at and going through and checking on. That's there to help you remember. Get working with your pastor if you haven't. Take advantage of that relationship. Build that relationship and get the support that you need for your clubs. Work with your director and your staff, and then show you some quick start guides. So that's the big picture of what we had done. And thank you, Leah, for putting stuff in the chat. Looks great. And at this point, I'm going to take a breath and open it up for questions to see if anybody would like to ask anything about something we covered, or maybe something that's still coming. As you get ready for a new club year, this is your chance, one of your chances to ask us a question or to find out information about how to have the best year possible.
When do we choose the date for our club to begin? When is it September or August?
Thank you, Kathy. Great question. And Patricia, I see your hand up. We'll come to you next. Kathy, that's a great question. And clubs get to decide whether it's August or September. You get to decide when you have your first club meeting. You get to decide if your club meeting's on Sabbath afternoon or on Sunday morning. You get to decide if your club meets once a month or 4 times a month. Those are things that you get to decide. Most clubs will work twice a month, will meet twice a month, and they find that that's a good pattern. But that's up to you in terms of doing your registration. And just a little thing, so again, best practice, I've seen clubs that make the registration day a really big deal. And when they make it a big deal, it feels like something fun. It feels like something exciting. Like I've seen clubs, because they have the resources to do a water day, right? So they have a couple members who have boats, and they have wakeboards or knee boards or skis, and they'll say, hey, come to our house and we'll do the registration and you can go play on the water. I've seen other people do stuff at a bounce house, right? Because they don't have boats, but they can go to a bounce house and say, hey, come, we'll cover your registration, just come do it. Some people do it at the church, and they create a fun place for them. They give either ice cream or popcorn away, something just to make it fun. Be creative and help your kids to say, wow, this is going to be a fun year. I'm going to have a great time in Pathfinders or Adventures. Patricia, let's go to your question.
Hi, good evening. In the beginning, you mentioned the leadership conference being in August through the 6th. I just wanted to hear more about that if you could.
Yes, for sure. And Leah, if you could put a link for the leadership convention in the chat, we'll get you there. But yes, Patricia, August 4 to 6, it starts Friday evening and goes through Sunday around 11:30, if I'm not mistaken. It will be here in Orlando. It will be at the DoubleTree near Universal. So if you know Orlando and the theme parks at all, it's near the entrance to Universal. This is a training that will be for Pathfinder and Adventure directors and staff, and there'll be master guide training. There'll be in English, there'll be in Spanish. The website will help you to have a lot of different information about that. The deadline's coming up to register. Leah, if I'm not mistaken, it's coming up here in July.
You said closing date?
Yes, the deadline to register.
July 10th.
July 10. So you'll want to make sure you're registered by July 10. I will tell you this also, there are 2 registrations. One is to register with Florida Conference to say, I want to be a part of the leadership convention. The second registration is separate from us, and that's directly with the hotel. That's to book your room. So if you want to have a room, you'll need to book with the hotel, and you can stay at the hotel where we're doing the leadership training. That's a separate fee. And then your leadership convention is through Florida Conference. That gives you your meals depending on the package you buy. There's a commuter package, and then there's a full package where I'm staying on site for the whole time. And all those fees and all those rates, will get you the link in the chat so you can dig into that some more. But August 4 to 6 is the training, and the deadline to register is July 10. And it's open to all Pathfinders, all Adventure staff. And this is an adult event. It's a training. So this is not an event where we encourage kids to come to, but it is something that if you book your room and you have your own people in your room with your family, or if you bring another, a parent or a friend to be with your kids and they stay there, but there's mainly a focus on saying, we want this to be a training where you can, as adults, stay focused and stay in on the training. Does that help you, Patricia? Okay, very good. And I see Isabel's hand is up. Isabel, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is for the convention. How do we register? You said through the Florida Conference for the meetings. Is that through the YMS?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because I'm having problems getting registered. And like when I log in, it says it doesn't find me, but then I go back in and it tells me I'm already registered, but then it won't let me in.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun. I'm going to put a website here. Not a website, an email address. Yeah. It's our generic email address. But if you email us at path.adv@floridaconference.com, we can answer those questions for you and help you through that, because we don't want that to be tough for you or to be a hassle. But I will tell you this, because it's through YMMS, everybody has to be in your list on your roster for your club. Okay. And then we can help you if you still have problems with that.
Okay, because last year I was the sub-director, and this year I got picked to be the director. So I don't know if that's where the problem is at.
Congratulations.
Did you change the role in the YMMS? Was the role changed?
I don't know, because I was never able to get in the YMMS.
Okay, yeah, just send us an email with your name and I will help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
And that may be the simple thing. And we did that today, like I said, with another director. And if you go to the link where all we went through with the tutorials, you can actually meet with your director, go through that tutorial. She can change your role to director, take herself off director if you want to, or you can contact us and we can help walk you through that. But the steps are there in the tutorial online.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And hey, everybody, give a round of applause to a new Pathfinder director in Gainesville, Spanish. That's great.
Oh, no,
congratulations.
I'm going to be the adventurer.
We'll still clap for you. Not a problem. Sorry, I messed up. It's the adventures. That's great. Thank you for taking that role on. Amy, I see your hand is up. What's your question?
Good evening. I won't be able to assist to the leader team on August. That's gonna be recorded.
Usually it's only live. We don't do a recording of that. So sorry for that. I know that there are some things that we have tried to do to record some stuff, but at this point, it's a live event. Sorry for that. Watch for more information through the newsletter. That's where we would say if we do record some stuff, that's where we would put it. Sorry you can't be with us. Everybody make a sad face for Amy. Frank was still smiling. You can't take Frank's smile away. I love it, Frank. All right, Edna, talk to us. What's your comment?
Yes, last year I was a bit disappointed because many of the classes that I wanted to go, when I go there, the class was not there. So I was all walking all over, and I feel that I did not get what I came for.
That sounds like a big disappointment.
I decided that this year I won't be coming.
Thank you for sharing that with us, and sorry that was that frustrating last time.
Yeah, it was very frustrated because I go to room and there was not. And the thing about it that when I went to the room and was asking questions, they all turned around and laughed. So I don't know what was funny. So I was a bit discouraged. So
I'm sorry that happened.
This year.
And we will miss you. Sorry you're not going to be with us. That definitely is not what we want to have as your experience, and I'm sorry that was your experience. We will work on that, and thanks for making that known to us so that we can make sure our rooms have the signs and that we're in the right place. I know there's a lot of moving parts, but we do work hard to get it right. Obviously, we didn't get it right for you, and I'm sorry for that again. I do see a hand from Bernie. Bernie, what's on your mind?
Hey, I just wanted to ask really quickly, this convention, this is also still a requirement in order for us to qualify for Club of the Year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that you have to bring your whole club in terms of staff, but you do have to have at least the director or staff member. Someone from your club in terms of the leadership needs to be there. Yep. And that's to qualify as part of the Club of the Year, which is the top honor that we give away here in Florida Conference to clubs. So if you can't make it as director, but you know one person can, we invite you to ask that person to sign up and to be present and be a part of things. So we'll work on getting the website. I think it was up here, but maybe there's still some information to add to it. Some of you are asking in the chat what content will be covered. There will be classes on for Pathfinders, classes for adventures. There'll be classes on leadership stuff. I know the adventure team was working just the other day on some of this, trying to put some of that together. And then the Pathfinder team, you heard they were going to meet tonight to fine tune some stuff. They're going to meet tomorrow night. But there are all kinds of classes for Pathfinders, for adventures, for master guides, and all kinds of things from leadership stuff to also getting tips on how to do things better, like camping things for Pathfinders and different skills. There's stuff on child discipline and child development. So you can kind of tailor your curriculum and your stuff. And the idea is by having at least one person from each club present is that you would get exposed to the different seminars, the different trainings, and you would take back ideas and resources that you could share. When a club takes a whole bunch of people from their church, that's when they get to say, hey, I'm going to go to this seminar, you go to that one, and then they switch or they share notes, or at meals they sit together and say, hey, what have you learned today? And you can go through that way. Questions coming in, do leaders need to be there for all 3 days? The key day, if you could only do one day, the key day is to be there on Sabbath. That's the longest day with the most training that happens. So if you had to pick and you couldn't do the whole weekend, that's why there's a commuter rate. So you could come just for Sabbath. And there's a question in the chat. Do you have instructors that could come to our clubs to teach drill and marching? And yes, we're working on appointing a new person to be our drill director. And that drill director will organize a team and build a committee and have people all across the state to be able to help clubs to learn drill and drum. So that's a good question. The question in the chat also was, can we see a list of what classes will be taught? And we'll work on that. I'll share that with our team tomorrow to get that ready. Pastor Stephen couldn't be with us tonight, but Pastor Stephen is taking lead on running Leadership Convention. And so I'll talk to him and ask him to make sure that those classes get up and he can start to share with you what's expected. At this point, it's still a little bit fluid as instructors are locked in and people change and all that, but we'll get you something so you can start to make informed decisions and follow on the link that is in the chat room if you're just coming on. All right. I see Marlene has a hand.
Thank you,
Hello?
Pastor Pedro.
There
Good
she
evening,
is.
everyone.
Good
I
evening.
have a quick question, Pastor.
Yes.
I won a free ticket last year.
What?
Can you expound on what that covers? And if I'm not able to make it, can I give my assistant this ticket?
Wow. First of all, congratulations on winning the ticket. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I don't know, what did they give you to say you won?
It's a letter that says, congratulations, you won one free ticket to the Leadership Convention 2023.
I guess it's a registration fee. It doesn't include the hotel, but I think it's a registration fee.
Yeah, so the registration portion, which covers your meals and all the seminars, that's what's free to you, or to the person from your club that you pass it on to. The hotel would be your club responsibility or the person you're sending from your team's responsibility.
Thank you.
Yeah, but hey, that's great. Congratulations. You've won a ticket. All right. I see Barbie has a hand up. Barbie, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, Pedro, thank you so much for letting me in. You guys have a participation limit. It was very difficult to get into the meeting, and I've been so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you
I'm
persevered.
Yes. Well, anyway, I wanted to know, we have not been active as a club since, I think, 2017, and we're trying to get our club back up and running. At one time, we had a very big club, and then, of course, our young people aged out, and now they're adults, and we're trying to get back rolling. We're having a hard time.
What church are you with, Barbie?
Lake City Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Brendan White.
Okay, yep.
Okay. So this leadership convention that's coming up in August, is that what you're speaking of right now?
I am, yes. And I would hope that you or one of your staff could come down and be a part of it.
Okay, so I'm the director. Okay. And so that means I definitely should be there. And should my counselors be there? Or is that really unnecessary? So
I think training and leadership training specifically is good for everybody. But I also know that this is not a $5 weekend. And most of the costs that you get in the convention cost, that's coming from the hotel in terms of meals. If you've ever stayed at a hotel and tried to buy meals at a hotel, you know what the cost is. So this isn't us making money. This is just us covering the costs of the meals. That's where most of your registration fee goes to. The other portion
I understand that.
Yeah, and the other portion of the hotel, that's where it's a quad room rate. I don't know if everybody understands that, but that means you can put up to 4 people in the same room, and the hotel says you're only going to get charged that one fee. So some clubs can save some money that way. But yes, if you can invest in your team and they have the resources, or the church or the club has the resources, as many as you can send, we would think that that's an advantage to you because they're able to come get training. And again, it's the divide and conquer idea, right? Let's send 2 people to this class and 2 people to that class, and let's spread out, and then let's meet and talk, and then say, here's what I've learned from leadership training. If you don't ever take time to say, what am I going to do different when I go back, then you just went to a training and not much really changes. But if you say, hey, let's do these 2 or 3 things different because we were at the training, let's make this happen and this happen, that's a great way to take advantage of it. So we hope you can bring as many as you can. And this is for your directors and staff. So it's for your counselors, it's for your secretaries, it's for everybody.
Okay. I'm sorry, Barbie, do you have your church or your club register in YMMS?
Because, say that again?
So in order to go to the event, you will need to register in YMMS. And since you didn't have it active since 2017, we will need to create your club in the system. So I'm going to put my email address in the chat. So if you can send me an email and I can work with you on that.
Good catch, Leah. Thank you.
Okay.
That's just the registration portal, the website that you need to be logged into and have an account to be able to register. So Leah will help you with that. Just follow up with her email and or the general email that we put earlier on. But yes, the only way to register for the leadership convention is through YMMS, and you have to have an account to do that. And the account's free, so it's not a big deal.
Okay,
right.
That's new since before, right? Is that
Correct.
something that's okay?
Correct. Yep, we started with that in 2019. Okay. Thank you, Barbie, for coming on board, and tell Pastor White hi. We like Pastor White. He's a great supporter of young people, and we appreciate him as a pastor. Thanks for being the Pathfinder director after, what, 6 years of no club there? That's great.
Yes.
Welcome
you.
on board.
I will give him that message.
Feel free to give a round of applause for Barbie coming on board after 7 years. I think that's pretty cool. Good job. Thank you, Barbie.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Audria, and then we'll make an announcement just to see where everybody's at. I'm not hearing you. Sorry. I don't know if anybody else is. It doesn't say you're muted, but I'm not hearing you. If you want to, yeah, that's a great idea. You're a smart lady. I was going to say, if you want to type it in the chat. So we'll wait for her thing to come from the chat. So someone asked in the chat if they can reactivate their accounts. And that's something that some of you are aware of. So here's what happens. Every year with YMMS, the Youth Ministries Management System, we shut it down and then we reopen it back up. When we reopen it, only the person who is listed in eAdventist as the director or the secretary can go in and reactivate their account. So we're waiting to do that until we get past leadership convention registration and give you time to print your tickets and do all that stuff. But yes, the system will shut down and then we'll reopen it up. It's not time to do that yet. Yes, there is a special rate, Audria, for the hotel, and you'll want to make sure you go to the link at the website. And I think Leah put that link in the web. If you could put it again in there in the chat room, please, just in case it got buried. But we want to make sure that you know that is coming up, and that is something that we have negotiated with the hotel. So, all right, I'm waiting. There it is. Oh, that was your question, Audrey. Okay, yeah. So there is a special rate. Laritza de la Rosa, what's your question?
Hola a todos. Quería preguntar si ya el club está activo y este nuevo año que cambiamos de director por el sistema, ya la esposa del pastor Reimer Jacqueline me estaba ayudando hoy, pero queremos saber cómo podemos activarla para que la nueva directora tenga su propia clave.
Ok, ella debe de tener su propia clave cuando ella hace el login, ¿no es cierto? Ella tiene su propia clave y una vez que han quitado el rol de director a la otra persona, ya ellos no pueden acceder al sistema.
Ok, gracias.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a question real quick of what happens if I'm no longer the director and my last act as director is to go into YMMS, open up the system for the new director and put them as the director, and then I change my role to either a member or a parent or whatever I am going to be. Once you do that, then the director role, if you can let us know about that, we can help to make sure that then that director role only has access to certain things. So Laritza, escúchame en esto. I'm going to say something back for Laritza in her question. Cuando hay un cambio, siempre es bueno dejarnos saberlo para que nosotros también aseguramos que el cambio se haya hecho en nuestro sistema, de nuestro lado, para limitar a las personas que no son la directiva para el club actualmente.
Perdone, sigue siendo Marina la persona para comunicar.
Correcto.
Ok, no hay
Correcto.
problema.
So
Sí, ok, terminé.
Anytime there is a leadership change, please do send that to the office. And the thing that we use is eAdventist. So we go into eAdventist, and that's where your church clerk should update all of the leaders and all of the roles. That's where we confirm quickly. Here's the Pathfinder director. Here's the adventure director. Here's the Pathfinder secretary, adventure secretary. Once we've confirmed that, that's who we release the system to for the new year. So if you know that you're the new director, if you know you're going to be the new director, please make sure that you check with your church clerk, make sure that they're updating their files and their records so that in eAdventist, they have you listed as the director or secretary for the new year. So when that transition happens, then we'll know who's there and what to do with that. All right. Very good. Let me go to the Malteries.
Yes, the Mahotier. Quick question. This is Richard Mahotier from Salem Church in Tampa.
Okay.
Quick question. We have a new Pathfinder adventure director on the line also. Her name is Miss Bidlows Francis. She's listening, and congratulations to her.
Okay.
Quick question. Does every staff member needs to create an account in MMS or just the club directors?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Richard. The only two people that create a role and that have access to the system are the director and the secretary. Everyone else is a member in the list, right? So you're a member in the roster, but the only people who can add, take away, make changes is the director and the secretary. So we've limited the roles to 2 people per club, and that's the director and secretary. So make sure that your director and secretary do create an account, create a system, or create a login and all that, but it's not for all the staff members. They will, so depending on how your club does this, when we first did YMMS, we said the director secretary have to enter everybody in. But there is a way for you to use YMMS and open it up for parents to register their kids for the club year through that portal so that you don't have to enter all that data. They can put their kid's name in, they can put all the information. If they're going to be a part of your staff, they can enter their own information in. There are a couple steps you need to do as a director to help them know how to do that. But for some of our bigger clubs, that's a lifesaver, because then instead of a director and secretary having to put in 50, 100 people, the parents and the children are putting that information in themselves, and then the director just goes in and approves it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for the question. All right. So it is 9:08, and we kind of walked through the content we wanted to share with you. We've taken some questions, and we're happy to stay on if there are more questions. But we did want to start to wind down just to be sensitive to your time, because we didn't want to take your whole evening, but neither did we want to cut anybody off. So in terms of in general, thank you again for everybody for coming on. Thank you for being excited about starting a new club year. We will send out the date soon about the August date. We'll repeat this meeting for a new club year orientation for a second time. There were some who couldn't get in because of the cap, and I forgot that there was 100 cap on our account for Zoom, so I'm sorry for that. This will be posted to our YouTube channel, will be posted to our Facebook channel for Pathfinders and Adventures, so we'll make sure that happens. And if you know people who missed it, make sure that they come on board in August. But we did want to give you some things and say, hey, we think this could be one of the best club years we've had ever, and we think that God's about to do something special as he works with us, to help each other and to be together. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you for what you're doing locally. I know we've given a round of applause for some people who are new leaders. Let's give a round of applause for those who've been in it for a while, right? Like, thank you for staying in it and being a part of this thing year after year. That's a great testimony too, I think, to the power of how a leader can stay and just make a big difference. So having said that, if there are others who want to stay on, you're free to stay on. We'll stay on for another minutes until we're done with all the questions. But I just want to say thank you officially for coming. Thank you for being a part of our new club year orientation. And thank you for taking time to invest in kids. And we think that's a big deal. Keep loving God and keep loving others. And we'll look forward to seeing you at Leadership Convention or at another event around here. Hey, that's a live baby that Evelyn has. No more stuffed animals. She's got a live baby. That's awesome. All right. Hey, good to see your faces. Thanks for turning on your cameras. For those that were on, thanks for your questions. And I see Barbie has a question. And again, we'll
Yes.
stay on to keep taking
What
questions.
is your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it is, I can look it up and put it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. What's the next question? I think I saw another question.
Pastor Pedro, I would like to get in touch with Barbie from the, so could she give me a call after?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
you'll just have to put your contact info there.
Okay.
So I just sent you in the chat, I put a link to our YouTube channel. I think that will take you in, and then you can look up videos and see all kinds of stuff. Oh, hey, Ruben's here. Ruben's one of our zone leaders, and we're so glad you're on tonight. Thanks, Ruben. He's usually smiling. He doesn't usually have flowers in his hair, but they look nice. I like it. It's a nice addition. All right, Laritza, another question?
Sí, una pregunta fuera del tema es que el año pasado los chicos estuvieron participando en el Bible Game, pero no tenemos el PIN y queríamos saber si hay que pedirlo para podérselo entregar al director anterior para que se lo dé a los chicos.
Estás hablando de los aventureros, ¿cierto?
Sí, aventureros.
Ok. Debía haber sido una forma que tenían que llenar para entregar cuando hicieron el concurso de los aventureros. Si no lo hicieron, mándanos un correo electrónico y mándanos la información de la iglesia para que le podemos mandar la forma para que lo puedan llenar. She's asking a question about ABG, Adventure Bible Game, and saying, hey, we participated, but we didn't get our pins yet. And that was something that should have been a form that you filled out at the event and then turned in. If you need that form, email us at the generic email and you can get that, we can get that form sent out to you so you can get your pins. And that's for the Adventure Bible Game. All right, Leah, looks like you're keeping up with the chat. Thank you for that. Barbie, Calvin just put his contact in the chat so he can call you or you can call him. So that's good. All right. Anyone else have a question for tonight? Hey, Donna, I finally see you. You are buried in another page.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, Frank, I see your hand. What's your question?
The promotional video that was done for MCC was very well done. We were hoping over on this end, if you could do one for Pathfinder so that we can share it repeatedly for recruitment.
Okay, I'll make a note of it. Thank you for that suggestion, Frank.
Eddie,
and we can do that.
Question.
Yeah, what's that?
His name is Eddie Aguayo.
Oh, I didn't see a hand. Go ahead, Eddie, unmute yourself and ask your question.
It's in the chat. It says, how do we obtain the verification date for the background check?
Oh, that's, boy, that's a Leah question.
Yeah, I answered that. So everybody who ran the check already once, they should have their profile with the username and password. If they forgot for some reason, please do not create a new account with new credentials because it's going to confuse everyone. I put the phone number in the chat for the Sterling. You just call them and they will reset your account or your password and you'll be able to see. If you have any issues or they put you on hold for so long, you can call me or send me an email and I'll be able to check it for you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, good question.
You know the way of doing it too, through your level 2 administrator from your own church.
Yes.
They can give you the back,
the secretary. They usually are at second level administrator.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another smart way to do it. Good job. Anyone else? I did see Daryl Edwards on here. Daryl is our state drum director. So we're very happy that Daryl's jumped on. Daryl works to help grow drum ministry all around Florida and is recognized as one of the top drum people in all of North America. So we're blessed to have Daryl on our team. Thanks for jumping on tonight. If you have a drum corps and want it to get better, Daryl has instructors all over the state that can help. Or if you've wanted to start a drum corps but don't know how to do it, this is for Pathfinders. Daryl can help connect you with one of his leaders. You can find his contact info on that web page that we shared with you.
Okay, va a estar en el webpage. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure can. I'm all ready for you.
And that is the voice of Daryl Edwards.
Oh, right there, Daryl. I'm from Plant City, so I'm gonna get in touch with you pretty soon. We would like to have drones, so yeah, I'll reach out to you.
I will definitely look for that because we already have plantation. So adding Plant City sounds great.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. We need to add him.
Is the Strawberry Festival in Plant City as good as they say?
Oh yeah, it's so great. So probably it's gonna be in March. So yeah, I mean, if you wanna come and swing by there, that's gonna be a really good strawberry pie that they do. So it's awesome.
Very cool. And I'm excited that a new drum corps might be coming up in Plant City. That's great. I'm excited for that. Thanks, Daryl, for reaching out.
And Brandon English as well.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Brandon English.
Brandon English is going to get some drums? Look at that. How cool. The gym will never be as quiet as it has been, huh? All right. Very good. Maritza, I see your hand.
I just wanted to mention to Eddie, he had the question about the verification date.
Yeah.
If they're able to log into the Sterling, normally the verification date would be the date that they did the video. For example, if I did the video August 10th, that would be my verification date. I know this because last year I had a big problem with Sterling, and they, on top of that, they come and they name me level 2 administrator in my church, and I'm like, I'm having problems with adventures that you're telling me I'm going to be the level 2 administrator.
That's
but
funny.
I learned a lot. So that would be what they would have to do. They would have to go onto their account and just look at the date they did the test.
Yeah.
That would be the verification date that you would put into the YMMS.
Okay, so yeah, just remember in Sterling, you get 2 dates. The 2 dates, first one is the date you complete your video training. That date does not ever go into YMMS. That date doesn't matter for YMMS. Yeah. The second date is the date that you are cleared by Sterling from your background check. That cleared date from Sterling is what you put into YMMS to get approved in YMMS. Once you've completed those 2 steps, cleared in YMMS, cleared in Sterling, approved in YMMS, then you're eligible to register for any event as an adult. So those are the 2 big steps. Maritza, thanks for trying that and for working on it. I know once you figure it out, it feels so much better than when you're stuck in it. So thanks for persevering and congratulations. They made you the level 2 administrator. You're going to knock it out. Help other leaders get through all that.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating in the beginning to understand how, like getting all the paperwork for the different departments, but after you already do it for a year, it goes at second nature.
Yeah, experience does help. Thanks for sharing that. I see a hand with Candace. What's your question?
Okay, hi, good night, everybody. So my question relates to YMMS and having you mentioned earlier about parents being able to directly put their information into YMMS.
Yeah.
Previously, we used a JOT form for registration. Is it possible then that we could have a link on our website to that YMMS registration and not do the JOT form?
You could, but it's a little bit more involved than that. There are a few other steps. So in terms of, yes, I think you're thinking the right direction. If you can get the parents the link, if I understand it right, there's a unique code, and maybe, I don't know if Eric's still on here. Yeah, he's nodding, so I think I'm heading the right direction. There's a unique code that you have to send for your club And there's some details and steps that you need to go through. But once you do that and provide the family with that information, then they use that information to make sure that all of their information actually lands back in your club. So it's not just this one generic thing that just for everybody, but there are some ways to do it. And Eric, was there a tutorial for that? I couldn't
I
find
already
it
put
the
it
other
in
day.
the chat. It's in the chat, but I'm gonna do it again.
Oh, there's a tutorial for that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
all the tutorial is a step-by-step guide to help you know how to do it.
Right there.
Thank you
Right
so much,
there.
Leah. And before I go, I just wanted to give a big shout out basically to Daryl and the drum corps. We restarted our drum corps at Miami Temple, and the support from the conference was amazing. So I'm thanking you for that.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And God has used Daryl to grow our drum ministry and to grow a team of drum instructors. And it's always fun to see the good that God does through them. Thank you for that. And Leah, thank you for keeping the chat room going and for posting all these things. Lots of content in the chat if you needed it. Anybody else have another question?
Quickly, amen to Miami Temple. I am ready to see Miami Temple next year at Red Zone. Praise God. I'm hoping to see them because we work with them so well, and I'm so happy for them.
That's cool.
I
like it.
Sounds like a setup, Daryl.
No setup. Just very, very happy for you because you know, our instructors just work with your kids, and the kids love them. So yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Very cool.
And you will be seeing Temper Spanish in drums again in Red Zone next year.
Jesus has spoken.
Great. Yes, I saw a little picture of I'm sorry, not a picture, but a video of Tampa Spanish playing, and I was like, oh, look at Tampa Spanish. I can't wait to see Tampa Spanish.
I can't wait to hear TSPC.
That's right. It's taking a while. It's taking a lot of work, but we're trying to make it.
Good job. And hey, here, just give a shout out to Jesus for a minute. Like Jesus is coming in, picking up the reins after a long time. Leader was there and he worked with that leader and he was willing to say, let's do it. But it's new territory for him, man. And he's doing it well. And he's got Yolanda there to support him. His wife, family, great team of leaders there in Tampa Spanish. But man, to see somebody step up like many of you have done, right? Like there wasn't a leader and you said, I'll do it. So Jesus just represents so many of you that have stepped up and said, we'll be the leader. And I'm just proud of Jesus for taking that move, and for all of you for saying, yeah, I'll be the adventure director. Yeah, I'll be the Pathfinder director. And then build a team around you. I think that's great.
He's got his first year under his belt and he's done such an excellent job. I'm really proud of Jesus for doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
Pastor Pedro, we're just scrolling up and see those are some of who on the call. And I see Naomi, who is a cluster coordinator from I think she's cluster 1. I see her on the call. Also, you know, just want to give a shout out to her because she's doing a job up there.
Yeah, Naomi, are you still on?
She's on. She's muted.
Oh, yeah, there I see her down. Yeah. Hey, Naomi, welcome. We're glad that you're here. Calvin gave you a little shout out. It's nice to see you here. And we've got, sorry, I get stuck on one page and then I don't see all the other stuff. I think I saw somebody else pop through, one of our other leaders. So thank you to our leaders. It was Marino from down in South Florida.
Yes.
I saw Marino hanging out down there.
It's there, yes. We see Ruben. Yeah, we see some of them. So we have some of our cluster on and zone.
Yeah. Donna, are you at a place where you can answer a question?
I am.
How many years have you been director in Eliatha?
Oh, man.
It's been a while. I can't actually tell you the number because I don't remember the year that I started, but I've been involved for a while.
I see your face down there and I was thinking, here are all these new people coming on and it's their first year or they just finished their first year. And I thought that's one spectrum, right? That's one side of the spectrum, but we've got a whole nother side of leaders who for years have been doing this and doing it well, right? Like Donna leads a tight ship. The kids love her. Things always go well. Eliatha is always in the top of whatever they're doing. And that doesn't happen without a leader, right? So just a shout out to Donna and Eliatha down in South Florida. Yeah, round of applause. And
I
for all the
appreciate
other
that.
leaders who are on here who've been doing this for a while, and you just keep doing it year after year, what a great witness to those that are just starting to say, hey, this won't kill me, right? Like this won't be the end of me. God will bless me, God will help me, and he'll get me through. So that's really cool.
Well, let me say, Pastor Pedro, let me just add this, that we've been recruiting and trying to find, especially young people who'll be willing to take up the mantle, but it's hard because they come on board for a short while and they have to leave for other things that interest in that particular age. So that's been a somewhat of a level of difficulty for us to find new staff to come on board and to be in leadership. But I happen to love it. So I'm just asking God to give all of us who are still in it the strength to continue.
Yes, and the love for it, right? The love.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pastor Pedro, I think Donna is the second director. I think the first director was Earl Anderson, and I think she take over from Earl, and from that, she's carrying the force.
No, actually, I came on after Judith Mullings. It was several persons have come on since, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And let me give another shout out. I don't see a hand, but Jacqueline is down here on the screen. Yes, Jacqueline's paying attention now. She heard her name. Jacqueline was talking to me today, and they're about to open a new club. Isn't that right? A new club. And her husband was one of our pastors here in Florida Conference, and together in their district, and it's not just a one church district, right? Like it's a multi-church district, but they're working hard to build clubs in each of those churches. And some of them aren't even officially churches yet. They're still companies or they're still groups, but God's using them to grow and build clubs and to start new things. So thank you, Jacqueline, for the heart that you have for Pathfinder and Adventure Ministry, and for the way it's blessing your own kids, right? You shared that with me, that it's blessing your own kids, and it's also blessing the kids in the churches and communities. So great job, and thanks for letting God use you there.
Can I shout out on a next director, Rhonda, from Midport? She's a director for years, and I often tell her how much we recognize her dedication to the cause. She's the director there. She don't have a child in the club. She don't have a child, but she's still there every year, and she take them everywhere she can take them. I just shout out and love her leadership here.
That's awesome. Thank you, Calvin, for that. And I didn't see Rhonda on here tonight.
Yeah, she's there. She's on.
Okay. All right. You have better eyes than me, Calvin.
I'm scrolling up and down.
All right. And I'm seeing that they're starting a new club in Pompano Beach. Is this Pathfinders, Lynn?
That is correct, sir. No, it's Adventurers. There hasn't been a club there for 5 years.
Oh, wow. There hasn't been a club in Pompano Beach for Adventurers. Are you the director, Lynn?
Yes, I kind of afraid to say.
And so here's another pastor's wife, right? Lynn is one of our pastor wives, and her husband, Steve, they're there in Pompano Beach. And here's another one, right? Like there's no club. We want to start one. Haven't had an adventure club in 5 years, but with a little fear and a little bit of reaching out to ask God for help, you're saying, let's do it. That's cool.
Well, thank you. I'm interested in really wanting to learn and do this for God. And so I'm thankful to be on the meeting, and I really appreciate everybody's enthusiasm.
That's really cool. Welcome on board to being one of the directors. We're glad that you're here. That's cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being on tonight. Thank you for sharing part of your evening with us. And I hope that you have a great rest of the week. Remember, Leadership Convention closes on July 10. So hopefully you'll get tucked in on that. And I did see, Leah, there was a comment about varsity. You want to give a comment about that?
Yes, we just extended it till tomorrow, 1 p.m. So if anybody still wants to register, please go to nadu.com. Registration is open.
What is that? What is the varsity?
Yeah, so in Florida, Pathfinders are split into 2 levels. E-Tracker is the first 4 class levels. Varsity is the last 4 class levels. Varsity is kind of like the high school age Pathfinders. And every summer they do an ultimate adventure where they'll go caving, they'll go backpacking, they'll go whitewater rafting. They'll actually spend a night in a cave. They'll get on their belly and crawl through the mud and grime of the cave. They'll get bounced around on the whitewater rafting boats. So it's an ultimate adventure for our high school age Pathfinders to be a part of, and that is extended until tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But that's what that trip is all about. All right. Blessings on you. Thank you again for jumping on. What was that?
One more thing, Pastor Pedro. I just want to say thanks for the medallions from last year. I know I was pushing and pushing, and finally we got those, and the kids were really happy about it. So I know, Pastor, I know you all the work that you did. So I just want to say thanks.
Oh, I'm so glad you reported that, and I'm glad you let us know. And yeah, Jose was able to make that all happen and get that. And I know that was a big deal to the kids, right? They've been waiting for that for a year. So thank you for that report back. Very cool.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Very cool. All right. Thank you again, everyone. Blessings on your week. May God continue to inspire you and to give you all that you need. He says he'll provide all that we need according to all his riches, right? So let's keep coming to him and let him provide for us. It's exciting to think of what's in store for us in this new club year, starting soon. Thanks for being on this orientation tonight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.